You are standing at the edge of a lake. The water is still, the air is cool and soft. You can hear the quiet. It is the kind of quiet that feels old, the kind that has always been here, the kind that will always be here. This is a lake in the north, in Scandinavia, where the forests are dark and the winters are long, where the mountains rise like shadows, where the water runs deep and cold. You have come here to listen, to learn, to remember the things that have been forgotten. There are stories here, old stories, stories about things that live in the water, things that have been seen, things that have been heard, things that have been felt. These are not stories of monsters that chase or harm. These are stories of mysteries, of shadows, of whispers, of the deep. You breathe in, the air smells like pine and stone and water. You breathe out, the mist curls around your feet. You're here now, you're safe, you're listening. Let us begin. The lake is black, not the black of night, not the black of ink, the black of depth, the black of cold, the black of something that has no bottom. You stand at the shore. The stones beneath your feet are smooth, worn down by 1,000 years of waves, by ice, by time. You look out across the water. It is wide, so wide you cannot see the other side. The mountains rise on either side. Their peaks are white with snow. Their slopes are covered in trees, dark green, almost black. The sun is low. It is always low here, even in summer. The light is soft, golden. It touches the water and makes it shine. Just a little, just enough. You think about how long this lake has been here, how many winters it has known, how many summers. How many people have stood where you stand now, looking out, wondering. The water is still, but not silent. If you listen carefully, if you let the world grow quiet around you, you can hear it. The lake, it breathes, it whispers, it remembers. There are things in the water. There have always been things in the water. It was a summer evening, long ago. So long ago that no one remembers the year. Only the story. A fisherman was out on the lake. His name was Niels. Or perhaps it was Anders. Or perhaps it was something else. The name does not matter. What matters is that he was there, alone, on the water. He had been fishing since morning. The sun had been warm. The water had been calm. He had caught 3 fish, maybe 4. It had been a good day. Now the sun was setting. The light was turning orange, then pink, then purple. The air was cooling. He decided to row back to shore. He put his oars in the water. He pulled. The boat moved forward, slowly, gently. The water made soft sounds against the wood. He was halfway across the lake when he saw it. At first he thought it was a log, a piece of driftwood, floating, but then it moved, not fast, not sudden, just a slow, smooth, rising. Something dark broke the surface, long, curved. Like the back of something very large, it gleamed in the fading light, wet, black, smooth. Niels stopped rowing, or Anders, or whoever he was. He stopped. He watched. The thing moved through the water, not splashing, not thrashing, just gliding, like it belonged there, like it had always been there. It was perhaps 20 feet long, perhaps 30. It was hard to tell. The light was dim now. The shadows were long. He watched it for a long time, maybe a minute, maybe 5. Time felt strange, stretched out, slow. And then it was gone. It sank, or it swam away, or it simply disappeared. The water closed over it. The surface became still again. Niels rowed home. He didn't speak of what he saw. Not that night, not for many nights. He thought about it. He wondered if he had truly seen it, or if the light had played tricks, or if he had been tired. But he knew, deep down, he knew. He had seen something, something that lived in the deep, something that had been there all along. The lakes have names, many names. Some are in Swedish, some are in Norwegian, some are in Finnish, some are older, from languages that are almost forgotten. There is Storsjön, the Great Lake, in Sweden. It is long and deep and cold. People say there is something there. Something they call Storjorduret, the Great Lake Monster. There is Seljord, in Norway, a lake surrounded by mountains, by forests, by old farms and old churches. People say there is something there too, something they call Selma, a name that sounds gentle, like a grandmother, like a friend. There is Rushun, there is Gritchen, there is Uren. There are so many lakes, so many names, so many stories, but the stories are all the same. In their heart, in their core, something lives in the water, something old, something quiet, something that does not want to be found. You ask the question, what do they look like, these things in the water? The answer is never the same, never quite the same. Some say they look like serpents, long, winding, with humps that rise and fall, like waves, like the coils of a great snake. Some say they look like eels, but much larger, thick as a tree trunk, with smooth skin, dark, glistening. Some say they have heads like horses, or dogs, or seals, with eyes, large eyes, dark eyes, eyes that watch. Some say they have fins, or flippers, or limbs. Some say they have nothing, just a body, a shape, a shadow. Some say they are 20 feet long. Some say 50. Some say 100. Some say they are black. Some say brown. Some say grey. Some say they change, depending on the light, depending on the water. No two descriptions are the same, but they are all similar, similar enough. Something long, something dark, something that moves through the water like it was made for it. You sit by the lake now. The evening is coming, the light is fading, you imagine it. You try to see it in your mind. A shape, a shadow, moving just beneath the surface, quiet, hidden, waiting. You do not feel afraid, you feel curious, you feel calm. The water laps at the shore, soft, gentle, rhythmic, like breathing. The lakes are deep, so deep. Storsjön is almost 300 feet deep in places. Seljord is nearly 500. There are places where the bottom has never been measured, where the sonar does not reach, where the darkness is complete. You think about that, about the depth, about the cold, about the pressure. Down there, in the deepest parts, the light does not reach, the sun does not touch. It is a world of silence, of stillness, of cold that does not change. What could live there, in that darkness, in that cold? You think about the creatures that have been found in deep oceans, in deep lakes, strange things, ancient things, things that have not changed in millions of years, things with no eyes, things with pale skin, things that move slowly, that live long lives, that do not need much. Perhaps the lake monsters are like that. Perhaps they have been there since the ice melted, since the glaciers retreated, since the land rose and the water filled the valleys. Perhaps they have been there all along, quiet, hidden, surviving. You lie on your back now, on the grass by the shore. The sky above is turning dark. The first stars are appearing, small, distant, cold. You feel the earth beneath you, solid, old. You feel the air around you, cool, soft. You close your eyes, you listen to the water, the gentle sounds, the rhythm. You imagine the deep, the darkness, the cold, the quiet. And you imagine something there, something alive, something ancient, something that does not need to be understood, something that simply is. The stories do not stop. They come from different times, different people, different places. A woman rowing across Seljord in the morning mist. She sees a dark shape, moving parallel to her boat. She does not panic. She watches. It stays with her for a few minutes, then it dives, disappears. A group of children playing by the shore of Storsjön. One of them points. Look. They all look. Something is moving out there. Something large, breaking the surface, then gone. A man fishing at dusk. The water is calm. Suddenly there is movement. A wake. Something swimming. Fast. Faster than any fish he knows. He reels in his line. He rows to shore. He tells his wife. She believes him. She has heard the stories too. A couple camping by a small lake. No name, no map. Just a lake in the forest, in the mountains. They wake in the night. They hear splashing. They look out from their tent. The moon is bright. They see ripples, large ripples, moving. They watch until it stops. They do not sleep much that night, but they are not afraid. They are amazed. The sightings come and go. Some years there are many. Some years there are none. Some decades are quiet. Some decades are full of stories. But the stories never disappear. Not completely. They are always there. In the background. In the memory. In the water. People try to explain. They always try to explain. Some say the lake monsters are giant eels. European eels. That grow much larger than normal. That live much longer. That stay in the lakes instead of going to the sea. Some say they are sturgeons. Ancient fish. With armoured skin. With long bodies. That can grow to enormous sizes. That are rare. That are shy. Some say they are logs, or floating debris, or waves, or tricks of light, or reflections, or imagination. Some say they are seals, that have wandered inland, that have adapted, that swim in the lakes now, that people mistake for something else. Some say they are nothing, that the stories are lies, or exaggerations, or mistakes. But the people who see them, they do not think they are mistaken. They do not think they are lying. They know what they saw. They know. You sit by the fire now, a small fire, on the shore. The flames flicker, orange, yellow, red. The smoke rises. It smells like wood, like comfort. You think about the explanations. You think about the stories. You think about how some things do not need to be explained, how some mysteries are better left as mysteries. The fire crackles. The night is dark. The stars are bright. The lake is quiet. You feel at peace. The lakes are not alone. They are surrounded by forests, by mountains, by land that feels older than words. The trees are tall, pine, spruce, birch. Their trunks are thick, their branches are heavy. The forest floor is soft, covered in moss, in needles, in small plants that do not need much light. The air in the forest is different, cooler, damper. It smells like earth, like growth, like decay and life all at once. You walk through the forest. The path is narrow. It winds between the trees. The light filters through the branches, soft, green, gentle. You can hear birds, distant, singing. You can hear the wind, rustling the leaves, the needles. You can hear your own footsteps, soft on the moss. You come to a clearing, a small opening. The sun reaches here. The grass is green. There are wildflowers. Small, white, yellow. You sit down, you rest. You look up at the sky, blue, clear, endless. You think about how the forest and the lake are connected, how they are part of the same world, the same story. The water comes from the mountains, from the snow, from the rain. It flows through the forest. It gathers in the valleys. It becomes the lake, and the lake feeds the forest. It gives moisture. It gives life. It gives balance. Everything is connected. Everything is part of the whole. You close your eyes. You breathe. The air is clean, pure. You feel calm. You feel whole. Winter comes. It always comes. In the north, in Scandinavia. Winter is long, cold, dark. The lake changes. The water grows colder. The surface begins to freeze. At first it is just at the edges. Thin ice, clear. You can see through it, down into the water below. Then it spreads. The ice grows thicker, whiter. It covers the lake, from shore to shore. The water is hidden now, locked beneath the ice. The world becomes quiet, quieter than before. The birds are gone, the insects are gone. The only sound is the wind and the creak of the ice. You walk out onto the frozen lake. Your boots crunch on the snow. The ice is solid, thick. You can feel it beneath you, strong, unyielding. You stand in the middle. You look around. The mountains are white. The trees are heavy with snow. The sky is grey, low, close. You think about what is beneath you. The water, still there, still flowing, slow, cold, dark, and deeper still. The bottom, the depths, the places where light never reaches. You wonder if the lake monsters are still there. In the winter, under the ice. Do they swim? Do they sleep? Do they wait? You imagine them, moving slowly through the cold darkness, ancient, patient, quiet. The ice creaks, a long, low sound, like the lake is breathing, like it is speaking. You listen. You stand still. You feel the cold on your face, on your hands. You feel alive. You feel connected. Spring comes slowly. It is not sudden, not fast. It creeps in. Day by day, week by week, The ice begins to melt, at the edges first, where the water meets the shore. The ice becomes thin, transparent. You can see the water beneath again, dark, moving. Then the ice breaks, it cracks, it splits. Large pieces float, drifting, melting, shrinking. The water is free again. It moves, it flows, it breathes. The forest wakes, the snow melts, the ground softens, the first plants push through, green, fragile, new. The birds return, their songs fill the air. The insects return, buzzing, flying, living. You stand by the shore again. The air is warmer now, the sun is higher, the light is brighter. You watch the water, it is alive, moving, reflecting the sky, the trees, the mountains. You think about the cycle, winter to spring, frozen to flowing, death to life, over and over, forever. You think about the lake monsters. You imagine them waking too, moving more, feeding, living, being. You feel the warmth on your skin. You feel the breeze in your hair. You feel the earth beneath your feet. You're part of the cycle too. You're part of the world, part of the story. There are stories older than the sightings, older than the names, stories from before. The people who lived here first, the Sami, the Norse, the old tribes, they had stories too. They spoke of spirits in the water, of guardians, of beings that were neither animal nor god, something in between. They said the lakes were sacred, that they held power, that they should be respected, feared, honoured. They left offerings, small things, stones, carved wood, food. They would place them by the shore, or throw them into the water, and they would ask for safe passage, for good fishing, for protection. They didn't speak of monsters, they spoke of the water itself, as if it were alive, as if it had a will, a purpose. They said that some people could speak to the water, could hear it, could understand it. They said that the water would answer, if you listened, if you were open, if you believed. You sit by the shore now. The sun is setting. The sky is turning orange, pink, purple. The water reflects the colours. It glows. You close your eyes. You listen. You let the world grow quiet. You hear the water, lapping, breathing, whispering. You do not understand the words, but you feel something, a presence, a connection. You're not alone. You have never been alone. The water has always been here. It will always be here. And it knows you. It knows all of you, all of us. You open your eyes. The colours are fading. The night is coming. The stars are appearing. You feel at peace. You feel held. You feel safe. Over the years, people have tried to find them. The lake monsters. They have come with boats, with cameras, with sonar, with equipment. They have searched. They have waited. They have watched. Some have found strange readings. On the sonar, shapes, moving, large, deeper than expected. Some have found nothing. Only water, only fish, only silence. Some have seen things, briefly, at a distance. Something breaking the surface. Something moving, but never close enough, never clear enough, never long enough. The expeditions come and go. Some are serious, scientific, organised. Some are casual, curious, hopeful. But none have captured proof. None have found the answer. And perhaps that is how it should be. Perhaps some things are meant to remain unknown, unseen, unproven. You think about that, about the desire to know, to understand, to prove. You think about the beauty of mystery, of wonder, of not knowing. You think about how some questions do not need answers, how some stories do not need endings. The lake is still, the night is dark, the moon is rising, full, bright. It reflects on the water, a path of silver, leading out, leading away. You watch it, you breathe, you let go. Children grow up with the stories, in the villages, in the towns, by the lakes. Their parents tell them, their grandparents tell them, their teachers tell them. But the stories are different for children, softer, kinder, gentler. They are told that the lake monsters are shy, that they do not hurt people, that they are just animals, strange animals, rare animals, But animals, they are told not to be afraid, just to be respectful, to be careful, to be aware. The children listen, they imagine, they draw pictures of long serpents, of humped backs, of dark water. They play games by the shore, pretending to see the monsters, pretending to be the monsters, laughing, running, splashing. For the children, the lake monsters are part of life, part of the world, like the trees, like the mountains, like the snow. They do not question, they do not doubt, they simply accept. And perhaps that is the wisest way, to accept, to believe, to let the mystery be. You smile, thinking of the children, their innocence, their openness, their joy. You remember being a child. You remember believing in things, in magic, in wonder, in the unknown. You feel that again now, that sense of possibility, that sense of awe. The world is full of mysteries, full of wonders, full of things we do not understand, and that is beautiful. The fishermen know the lakes better than anyone. They spend their days on the water, their nights, their lives. They know where the fish are, where the water is deep, where the currents run, where the wind comes from. They know the moods of the lake, when it is calm, when it is rough, when it is safe, when it is dangerous. And they know the stories. They have all heard them. Some have seen things themselves, some have not. But they all respect the water. They know it is powerful, unpredictable, alive in its own way. They do not mock the stories. They do not dismiss them. They simply fish. They simply live. You meet a fisherman, an old man. His face is weathered. His hands are rough. His eyes are kind. He invites you onto his boat. You accept. You sit. The boat rocks gently. The water laps against the sides. He rows out slowly, steadily. The oars dip into the water, pull, lift, dip again. He tells you about the lake, about the fish, about the seasons, about his life. You ask him about the monster. He smiles. He looks out at the water. He says he's never seen it. Not clearly, but he has felt it, sensed it, known it was there. He says the lake has secrets, and that is how it should be. He rows back to shore. You thank him. You step onto land. The boat drifts away. He waves. You watch him go. You think about his words, about secrets, about respect. You look at the water. You nod. You understand. People come from far away to see the lakes, to hear the stories, to search for the monsters. They come with cameras, with binoculars, with hope, with excitement. They stay in hotels, in cabins, in tents. They take boat tours. They walk the shores. They wait. Some are disappointed. They see nothing. They leave unsatisfied. They call it a waste of time. Some are enchanted. Even without seeing anything, they love the lakes, the forests, the mountains, the peace, the beauty. They take photos of the water, of the sky, of the trees. They post them online. They share the stories. They spread the wonder. Some stay longer than planned. They feel drawn to the place. They feel connected. They do not want to leave. They sit by the water for hours, watching, waiting. Not for the monster, just for the feeling, the calm, the stillness, the sense of being part of something larger. You see them sometimes, the tourists. You smile. You understand their curiosity, their desire, their hope. You do not judge. You do not mock. You simply welcome them, silently, in your heart. The lakes belong to everyone. The stories belong to everyone. The mystery belongs to everyone. And the more people who come, who listen, who wonder, the more alive the stories become. In summer, in the far north, the sun does not set. Not completely. It dips low. It touches the horizon, but it does not disappear. The light changes. It becomes golden, soft, warm. It lasts for hours. The sky glows. Orange, pink, purple, then golden again. The night never comes, not true night, not darkness, just this endless twilight, this soft, gentle, beautiful light. You stand by the lake at midnight. The sun is low. It hangs above the mountains. The water reflects it. A path of gold, leading away, leading forever. The air is still. The world is quiet. Everything feels suspended, timeless, dreamlike. You think about the lake monsters. You wonder if they come to the surface now, in this light, in this stillness. You watch the water. You wait. You breathe. Nothing moves. Nothing breaks the surface. But you feel something. A presence. A watching. You are not alone. Something is there, beneath the water, beneath the light, hidden, waiting. But you are not afraid. You feel calm. You feel connected. You feel part of the world, part of the mystery. The sun moves. Slowly, so slowly. It begins to rise again. The light changes. The colours shift. A new day is beginning, or the old day is continuing. It is hard to tell. Time feels strange here. Fluid. Unimportant. You turn away from the lake. You walk back. You feel the warmth on your skin. You feel the peace in your heart. You carry the mystery with you. You will always carry it. It is yours now. Forever. In winter. In the far north. The opposite happens. The sun does not rise. Not completely. It stays below the horizon. The world is dark. Not pitch black. Not always. There is twilight. At midday, for a few hours, the sky glows. Blue, purple, grey. But there is no sun. The stars are bright. The moon is bright. The snow glows, reflecting the little light there is. The world becomes quiet. So quiet. Everything feels muted, soft, slow. You stand by the frozen lake. The ice is thick. The snow covers everything. The sky above is filled with stars, more stars than you have ever seen. You look up. You feel small. You feel vast. You feel both at once. You think about the lake monsters, down below, under the ice, in the darkness. Do they know about the stars, about the light, about the world above, or do they live in their own world? A world of cold and dark and silence. A world that never changes. You breathe out. Your breath becomes mist. It hangs in the air, then fades. You feel the cold, but it is not harsh. It is clean, pure, honest. You feel alive. You feel present. You feel connected to everything. The darkness is not empty. It is full, full of stars, full of silence, full of peace. You close your eyes. You listen. You feel, and you know, deep in your heart, that you're part of something infinite, something eternal. The lake, the ice, the darkness, the stars, the monsters, you, all of it, all of us. One. Sometimes, in winter, the sky comes alive, the northern lights, aurora borealis, they dance, they shimmer, they glow, green, the most common colour, like liquid light, pouring across the sky, waving, flowing, moving, sometimes pink, sometimes purple, sometimes white, sometimes all of them, together, changing, shifting. You stand by the lake, the ice beneath your feet, the sky above, the lights dance, you watch. You cannot look away. It is too beautiful, too strange, too magical. The lights reflect on the ice, on the snow, the whole world glows, green, shimmering, alive. You feel something, wonder, awe, gratitude, joy. You think about the people who lived here long ago, who saw these lights, who told stories about them. They said the lights were spirits, ancestors, gods. They said the lights were a bridge between worlds, between life and death, between earth and sky. You do not know what the lights are. Not really. You know the science, the particles, the magnetism, the atmosphere. But that does not take away the magic. It does not take away the wonder. You watch. The lights dance. They move. They change. They are never the same, never still. And you think about the lake beneath the ice, the water, the depth, the darkness, the mysteries. You think about how the world is full of wonders, above and below, in the sky and in the water, in the light and in the dark. You smile. You feel warm. Despite the cold, you feel full. Despite the emptiness, you are here, in this moment, in this place, and it is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything. The frozen lake makes sounds, if you listen, if you are there. In the day, when the sun warms the ice, it cracks, sharp sounds, like gunshots, like thunder, sudden, loud, but not frightening, just the ice, expanding, contracting, moving, living in the night. when it is cold. The ice groans, long, low sounds, like something ancient, like something in pain, but not pain, just sound, just existence. You stand on the ice, you listen. The sounds come from all around, from beneath you, from far away, from everywhere. They echo, they resonate, they fill the air, they fill your body. You feel them in your chest, in your bones, in your heart. You think about the water beneath, the creatures beneath. Do they hear these sounds? Do they feel them? Do they know? You think about how the ice is temporary. It will melt. It always melts. The water will be free again. You think about cycles, about change, about the way things come and go, and come again. You stand still. You close your eyes. You listen. The ice sings, the lake sings, the world sings, and you are part of the song. You have always been part of the song. Sometimes the lake fills with fog, thick, white, heavy. It comes in the morning, when the water is warmer than the air, or in the evening, when the air is cooler than the water. It rolls in like smoke, like a living thing. It covers everything. The water, the shore, the trees, the sky. You cannot see, not far, maybe a few feet, maybe less. The world becomes small. Just you, just the fog, just the quiet. Sounds become muffled, soft, distant, even your own footsteps, even your own breathing. You walk by the shore, slowly, carefully. The fog is damp. It clings to your skin, to your clothes, to your hair. You can hear the water, somewhere, nearby, lapping, whispering. But you cannot see it. You think about the stories, about the monsters, about how they could be anywhere, right there, in the fog, in the water, and you would not know, but you are not afraid. The fog feels safe, protective, like a blanket, like being held. You sit down, on a rock, or on the ground. You wait, you listen, you breathe. The fog swirls, it moves, shapes appear, then disappear. Are they real? Are they shadows? Are they imagination? You do not know, you do not need to know. You are here, in the fog, in the mystery, in the quiet. And that is enough. You meet an old woman, in a village, by one of the lakes. She is small, her back is bent, her hands are gnarled, but her eyes are bright. Clear, kind. She invites you in, to her home, a small house, wood, stone, warm, cozy. She makes tea, she sits, she looks at you. You ask her about the lake, about the stories, about the monster. She smiles, she nods, she speaks. Her voice is soft, like old paper, like wind through leaves. She says she has lived here all her life, 80 years, maybe more. She has lost count. She says she has seen it 3 times. The first time when she was a child, with her father, on the water. She describes it, long, dark, moving, graceful, beautiful. She says she was not afraid. Even then, she felt lucky, chosen, special. She saw it again, years later, from the shore, at dusk, just a glimpse. But she knew, and once more. Recently, a few summers ago, she was sitting where she always sits, by the water, and it came close, so close. She says it looked at her, she's sure of it. It had eyes, large, dark, deep. It looked at her, and she looked at it, and then it was gone. She says she thinks of it often. She says she's grateful for the sightings, for the mystery, for the beauty. She says the world is full of wonders, and we are lucky, so lucky, to see even a small part of them. You thank her, you leave, you walk back to the lake, you think about her words, about gratitude, about wonder, about luck. You look at the water, you feel something shift inside you, a softness, an opening. You are grateful too, for being here, for hearing the stories, for feeling the mystery. You breathe, you smile, you let it all in. There are scientists who study the lakes, who try to understand, who try to find answers. They use sonar to map the bottom, to measure the depth, to find anomalies. They use cameras, underwater, remote controlled, to see what is there, to capture images, to record. They take samples of water, of sediment, of life. They analyze, they test, they search. Some believe in the lake monsters, some do not, but all are curious, all want to know. They find things, strange things, sometimes, sonar readings that do not match known fish, shapes that are too large, too fast, too deep, images that are unclear, blurry, but suggestive, something long, something dark, something moving, but never proof, never certainty, never the answer. The scientists publish papers, they share data, they discuss, they debate. Some say the lakes could hold unknown species, giant eels, ancient fish, relics from another time. Some say the sightings are explainable, misidentifications, natural phenomena. Psychological factors. But none can say for certain, none can close the door, none can end the mystery. You read their papers, you look at their data, you think about their work, you appreciate it, the curiosity, the rigour, the dedication. But you also appreciate the mystery, the not knowing, the space for wonder. You think about how science and story can coexist, how facts and myths can both be true in different ways. You look at the lake. You do not need proof. You do not need answers. You just need the water, the sky, the quiet, the sense of connection. And you have that. You will always have that. There is an artist who paints the lakes, who lives nearby, who has dedicated her life to this. She paints the water, the mountains, the sky, the light, the seasons, the moods. She paints from memory, from imagination, from feeling. She paints the lake monsters, sometimes, long serpents, winding through the water, dark shapes, humped backs, breaking the surface. But she paints them gently, beautifully, not as threats, as mysteries, as wonders. Her paintings hang in galleries, in museums, in private collections. People come from far away to see them. They say her work captures something essential, something true, the loneliness of the north, the beauty of the water, the magic of the unknown. You see one of her paintings, in a small gallery, in a village. It shows a lake at dusk. The water is dark, almost black. The sky is orange and pink. The mountains are silhouettes, and in the water, just barely visible, a shape, long, curved, rising. You stand in front of it. You look. You feel something, a tightness in your chest, a warmth in your throat. It is beautiful. It is sad. It is hopeful. It is everything. You think about the artist, about her dedication, about her vision, about her gift. You think about how art can capture what words cannot, what science cannot, what even experience cannot. You think about how art is its own kind of truth, its own kind of knowing. You leave the gallery, you walk back to the lake, the real lake, the living lake, and it feels different now, richer, deeper, more alive, because you have seen it through her eyes, and now you see it through your own, and both are true. There is a writer, a poet, who lives by the lakes, who writes about them, who tries to capture them in words. He writes about the water, the silence, the depth, the mystery. He writes about the monsters, not as creatures, as ideas, as feelings, as symbols. He writes about loneliness, about longing, about the search for something, for meaning, for connection. He writes about how the lake is like the soul, deep, dark, unknown, full of hidden things. He writes about how we all have monsters inside. Not bad, not evil, just hidden, unseen, misunderstood. His poems are quiet, gentle, sad, beautiful. They do not answer questions. They ask them. They sit with them. They let them be. You read his work, late at night, by lamplight, by the fire. The words wash over you, like water, like waves, gentle, rhythmic, soothing. You feel them, in your body, in your heart, in your mind. You understand, not with words, not with thoughts, with feeling, with knowing. The lake is you, the monster is you, the mystery is you. You are deep, you are dark, you are unknown, even to yourself. And that is okay, that is beautiful, that is true. You close the book, you sit in the quiet, you breathe, you feel the peace, the acceptance, the love, for yourself, for the world, for the mystery. You sit by the lake. It is early morning, the sun is just rising, the sky's pale, there is no wind, no sound, no movement. Just silence. Not empty silence, not hollow silence, full silence, rich silence, living silence. You listen, not with your ears, with your whole body, with your whole being. You hear the silence, you feel it, it fills you, it surrounds you, it holds you. The lake is still, like glass, like a mirror. It reflects the sky, the mountains, the trees. You can see everything, above and below, real and reflection, the same, different, both. You think about how rare this is, this silence, this stillness, this peace. You think about how the world is usually so loud, so busy, so full of noise, but here, now, there is nothing and everything. You breathe, slow, deep, calm. You feel your heart beating, steady, strong. You feel your body sitting, resting, being. You feel your mind quiet, open, clear. You are here, fully here, completely here, and that is all you need to be. The silence holds you, the lake holds you, the world holds you. You are safe, you are loved, you are home. It begins to rain, soft, gentle, steady. The drops fall on the lake. They make small circles, ripples, spreading, overlapping. The surface of the water comes alive, moving, dancing, changing. You stand in the rain. You do not seek shelter. You let it fall on you. It is cold, but not unpleasant, refreshing, cleansing, honest. You close your eyes. You feel the drops on your face, on your hair, on your hands. You listen to the sound. The soft patter on the water, on the leaves, on the earth. It is rhythmic, hypnotic, soothing. The rain washes everything, the trees, the rocks, the shore, you. It washes away the dust, the heat, the heaviness. It leaves everything clean, fresh, new. You think about how the rain feeds the lake, how it fills it, how it gives it life. You think about how everything is connected, the sky and the water, the rain and the lake, you and the world. You open your eyes, the rain continues, the lake accepts it. Grateful, open, you are grateful too, for the rain, for the lake, for this moment. You stand, you breathe, you let it all be. Sometimes the weather changes, fast, sudden, fierce. The wind picks up, the clouds roll in, dark, heavy, angry. The lake responds, the water rises, waves form, they crash against the shore. White foam, spray, noise. The trees bend, the branches whip, the leaves tear away. You find shelter, under a tree, behind a rock, in a cabin. You watch, the storm, the power, the fury. It is beautiful, in a wild way, in a dangerous way, in an honest way. The lake is not gentle now, it is fierce, it demands respect, it shows its strength. You think about the monsters. Do they feel the storm? Do they dive deeper? Do they ride the waves? You imagine them, down below, in the dark, in the chaos, safe, hidden, waiting. The storm does not last long, it never does. It comes, it rages, it leaves. The wind dies, the clouds part, the sun appears, the lake calms, the waves settle, the water becomes still again. Everything is quiet, peaceful, as if the storm never happened. But you remember, you felt it, you witnessed it, you survived it, you step out, you look at the lake. It is beautiful again, gentle again, but you know it has another side, a wild side, a powerful side, and you respect it, you honor it, you love it for all that it is. You meet another fisherman, younger than the first, but still weathered, still wise. He tells you a story about his grandfather who fished these waters, long ago. His grandfather told him, when he was a boy, about a night on the lake. It was autumn. The air was cool. The water was calm. He was alone. Rowing back, the moon was full. The light was bright. He could see everything clear, silver, beautiful. And then he saw it, rising from the water, just ahead, large, dark, with eyes, looking at him. He froze. He did not row, he did not breathe, he just looked, and it looked back. For how long? He didn't know. Seconds, minutes, time stopped. And then it sank, slowly, gently, without a sound. The water closed over it. The surface became still. He sat in his boat, shaking, not from fear, from awe, from wonder, from the weight of what he had seen. He rowed home. He told his wife. She believed him. She always believed him. He told his son, his grandson. He told everyone who would listen, but he never went back, not at night, not alone. He fished during the day with others. He was careful, not because he was afraid, because he knew. He had seen something sacred, something rare, something that should not be disturbed. The young fisherman finishes the story. He looks at you. He says he believes his grandfather. He says he hopes to see it too, one day. But if he never does, that is okay. The story is enough. The mystery is enough. You nod. You understand. You feel the same. You sit by the water. The day is clear. The sky is blue. The lake is still. You look at the reflection, the sky and the water, the clouds, the mountains, the trees. It is perfect, exact, like a copy, like a twin, but not quite. Something is different. The colours are deeper, the shapes are softer, the lines are blurred. You think about reflections, about how they are real but not real, present but not present, here but not here. You think about the lake monsters. Are they real? Are they reflections? Are they something in between? You think about stories, about myths, about legends. Are they true? Are they false? Are they something else? You think about how truth is complicated, how it is not always simple, how it can hold many things at once. Something can be a story and also be real, not in the same way, but real nonetheless. You look at your own reflection, in the water, your face, your body, your shape. It looks back at you, silent, still, familiar, strange. You think about who you are, what you are, why you are here. You do not have answers. You do not need answers. You are here. You're looking. You are wondering. And that is enough. The water holds your reflection, gently, softly, without judgment, without question. You are held. You are seen. You are known. You decide to go out on the water. You find a small boat, old, wooden, simple. You push it into the water. You climb in. You sit. You take the oars. You row, slowly, steadily. The boat moves. The water parts, flows around, closes behind. You're on the lake now, surrounded. The shore is distant. The mountains are near. The sky is above. You feel small, but not insignificant. You feel part of the lake. Part of the world. You stop rowing. You let the boat drift. You sit. You listen. You feel. The water laps against the sides. Soft, rhythmic, gentle. You look down, into the water. It is dark. You cannot see the bottom. You cannot see far. You think about what is beneath you. The depth, the cold, the darkness, the unknown. You think about the monsters. Are they below you now? Are they watching? Are they aware? You do not feel afraid. You feel curious. You feel connected. You feel at peace. You put your hand in the water. It is cold, but not harsh, clean, pure, honest. You move your hand. The water moves with it, around it, through it. You feel the connection, physical, real, immediate. You are touching the lake. The lake is touching you. You are together. You are one. You lift your hand. The water drips, falls back, returns to the whole. You sit, you breathe, you drift. Time passes. The sun moves. The light changes. You do not move. You do not need to. You're exactly where you need to be. In the middle of some lakes, there are islands, small, rocky, covered in trees. You row to one, you step out. You pull the boat onto the shore. You walk. The island is small. You can walk around it in minutes. There are trees, pine, spruce, twisted by wind, stunted by cold. There are rocks, grey, covered in moss, lichen, green, yellow, orange. There are birds, you can hear them, singing, calling, living. You find a clearing. In the centre, a small open space, grass, wildflowers, sunlight. You sit, you lie back, you look up at the sky. The trees frame it, their branches reach up, the leaves move, gently, slowly. The sky is blue, endless, clear. You feel held by the earth, by the trees, by the sky, by the island. You think about isolation, about being alone, about being separate. But you do not feel alone. You feel part of everything, connected, held. The island is not separate from the lake. It is part of the lake, rising from it, surrounded by it, made by it. You are not separate either. You are part of the world, part of the story, part of the whole. You close your eyes, you rest, you breathe. The island holds you. The lake holds the island. The world holds it all. You're safe. You're home. You are loved. The day is ending. The sun is low. The light is golden, soft, warm. You sit by the shore. You watch the sun. It moves, so slowly, so steadily. It touches the mountains. It slides behind them. The sky glows, orange, pink, red, purple. The water reflects it all, the colours, the light, the beauty. You do not move. You do not speak, you just watch. The colours change, deepen, fade, the stars appear, one by one, small, distant, bright. The moon rises, pale, soft, glowing. The night comes, gently, quietly, beautifully. The lake becomes dark, black, reflective. The moon makes a path on the water, silver, shimmering, leading away. You think about the day, about all you have seen, all you have felt, all you have learned. You feel grateful for the lake, for the stories, for the mystery, for the peace. You feel full, not with food, with experience, with beauty, with wonder, with love. You stand, you stretch, you breathe, you walk away from the shore, slowly, looking back, again and again. The lake stays, it always stays. It will be here tomorrow, and the next day, and forever. You carry it with you, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. It is yours now, forever. That night, you dream, you're in the water, not drowning, not struggling, just in the water, floating, drifting, being. The water is warm, soft, gentle. It holds you, it carries you. You can breathe, somehow. You do not question it, you just breathe, in and out, easy, natural. You look around, the water is clear, you can see. Light filters down from above, blue, green, beautiful. You look down. The water is deep. You can see down, down, down. But there is no bottom, just depth, just darkness, just mystery. You're not afraid. You feel curious, you feel drawn, you swim down, slowly, gently. The water gets colder, darker, quieter. You see something, a shape, moving, below you, long, dark, graceful. You swim toward it. It does not flee, it does not approach. It just is, moving, existing, being. You get closer. You see it clearly now, a creature, long, serpent-like, with smooth skin, dark, shining. It has eyes, large, dark, deep. It looks at you. You look at it. There is no fear, no threat, no danger, just recognition, just connection, just knowing. You reach out. Your hand moves through the water, slow, dream slow. You touch it. The skin is smooth, cool, real. It does not move away. It stays. It lets you touch. It accepts you. You feel something, a warmth, a pulse, a life, ancient, powerful, gentle. You understand, without words, without thoughts. You just understand. It has always been here. It will always be here. It is part of the lake, part of the water, part of the world, and you are part of it too. You always have been. You always will be. The creature moves, slowly, gently. It swims away, down, into the darkness, into the depth. You watch it go. You do not follow. You let it be. You honour it. You love it. You float. You breathe. You feel the water. You feel the peace. And then you wake. You open your eyes. The light is soft. The room is quiet. You remember the dream. It felt real. More real than most dreams. You can still feel the water, the creature, the connection. You get up, you dress, you go outside. The lake is there, calm, still, beautiful, the same as always, but different. Because you are different. You walk to the shore, you stand, you look, you think about the dream. Was it just a dream, or was it something more? A message, a vision, a truth? You do not know, you cannot know, but you feel something, a certainty, a knowing. The lake has secrets, the lake holds mysteries, and you've been allowed to touch one, to see one, to know one. You feel honored. Chosen, grateful. You sit by the water, you dip your hand in. The water is cold, real, present. You close your eyes, you remember the dream, the creature, the eyes, the touch. You smile, you feel peaceful, you feel whole. Whether it was real or not does not matter. What matters is the feeling, the connection, the love. You've been changed by the lake, by the stories, by the mystery. You will carry this with you forever, in your heart, in your soul, in your life. You know you cannot stay, not forever. You have a life, a home, a world beyond this place. But you do not want to leave, not yet, not now. You spend one more day by the lake, walking, sitting, watching, listening. You try to memorize everything. The color of the water, the shape of the mountains, the sound of the wind, the feel of the air. You try to hold it all, to keep it. To never let it go, but you know, you cannot hold water. You cannot keep moments. They flow, they pass, they change, and that is okay. That is how it should be. You have been here, you have seen, you have felt, you have known, and that will always be true. No matter where you go, no matter what happens, the lake will always be part of you, and you will always be part of the lake. The evening comes, your last evening, the sun sets, one more time, beautiful, perfect, sad. You watch, you breathe, you let the tears come. They are not sad tears, they are grateful tears, love tears, goodbye tears. The night comes, you sit by the water, one more time, you listen, you feel, you whisper, thank you, to the lake, to the stories, to the mystery, to the monsters. Thank you for letting me be here. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for teaching me. The water laps, soft, gentle, as if it hears, as if it understands, as if it says, you are welcome, you are loved, you are always welcome. You leave in the morning. The sun is rising, the light is soft, golden, new. You take one last look at the lake, at the mountains, at the trees, at everything. You breathe it in, deep, full, one last time, and then you turn. You walk away. You begin the journey home. The road is long, the way is winding. You travel, by car, by train, by plane, by foot. You move through the world, through cities, through towns, through places you do not know, but you carry the lake with you. You carry the stories, you carry the peace, you carry the mystery. You think about it, often, daily, constantly. You think about the water, the depth, the darkness, the quiet. You think about the monsters, the creatures, the shadows, the unknown. You think about the people, the fisherman, the old woman, the artist, the writer. You think about the feeling, the peace, the connection, the love. You miss it, you long for it, but you also have it, inside you, always. You arrive home, your place, your life. It feels different now, not bad, not wrong, just different. Because you are different. You have been changed, you have been touched, you have been transformed. You carry the north with you, you carry the lake with you, you carry the mystery with you, and you always will. You go back to your routine, your work, your friends, your habits. People ask where you went, what you saw, what you did. You tell them about the lakes, about the stories, about the monsters. Some are interested, some are skeptical, some do not care. That is okay. You do not need them to understand. You do not need them to believe. You know, you were there, you felt it, you experienced it, and that is enough. You go through your days, you work, you eat, you sleep, You live, but something is different. Something has changed. You notice things now, small things. The way light reflects on water, even a puddle, a glass, a window, the way wind sounds in trees, the way silence feels, the way darkness is not empty. You notice the mystery in everything, the unknown, the depth, the beauty. You see the world differently now, richer, fuller, more alive. You're grateful for the trip, for the experience, for the change. You're grateful for the lake, for the stories, for the monsters, for the peace. They gave you something precious, something rare, something you will never lose. They gave you wonder, they gave you connection, they gave you yourself. Time moves, as it always does. The seasons change. Summer turns to autumn, the leaves change colour, red, orange, yellow, gold. Autumn turns to winter, the snow falls, white, soft, cold, beautiful. Winter turns to spring, the ice melts, the flowers bloom, green, pink, new, alive. Spring turns to summer, the sun shines, the warmth returns, the cycle continues. You watch, you notice, you feel, you think about the lake. Does it change like this? Yes. You remember. You were there. You saw the seasons. You think about the monsters. Do they notice? Do they care? Do they feel the change? You imagine them, in the deep, in the cold, in the darkness, moving slowly, living quietly, existing patiently. You wonder if they think about you, if they remember, if they know. Probably not. They are creatures, they are animals, they are mysteries. But you think about them, you remember them, you know them, and that is enough. That is everything. You live your life, you move through the seasons, you grow, you change, you exist, and always, always. You carry the lake, you carry the stories, you carry the mystery. It is part of you now, forever. You tell the stories to people who want to hear them, to people who are curious, to people who wonder. You tell them about the lakes, about the north, about the cold, about the beauty. You tell them about the monsters, about the sightings, about the shapes in the water, about the eyes in the deep. You tell them about the feeling, the peace, the connection, the mystery, the wonder. Some people listen closely. Their eyes widen. They lean forward. They ask questions. Some people are polite but distant. They nod. They smile. But you can tell they do not really hear. Some people are skeptical. They question. They doubt. They explain it away. That is okay. You do not tell the stories to convince. You tell them to share, to honour, to keep alive. The stories are not yours. They belong to the lake, to the people, to the world, to everyone. You're just a carrier, a vessel, a teller. You tell the stories with care, with love, with respect. You tell them slowly, gently, softly. You do not dramatize, you do not exaggerate, you do not frighten. You tell them the way they should be told, as mysteries, as wonders, as gifts. And when you tell them, you feel the lake again, you see it, you're there, and for a moment, for a beautiful, precious, fleeting moment, you're back. Sometimes you feel it, a pull, a longing, a need, to go back, to return, to be there again. You miss the water, the mountains, the forests, the silence, the peace. You miss the feeling of being small, of being part of something larger, of being connected. You miss the mystery, the not knowing, the wondering, the possibility. You look at pictures, you read about it, you remember, but it is not the same. It can never be the same. Memory is not experience. Image is not presence. You feel the longing, deep, aching, real. But you also feel gratitude, because you were there, because you experienced it, because you have those memories, and you know you can go back. Maybe not now, maybe not soon, but someday. The lake is still there. It will always be there, waiting, patient, eternal. And when you are ready, when the time is right, when the call is strong enough, you will return, you will go back, you will be there again. Until then, you carry it with you, you hold it close, you keep it safe. The longing is not bad, it is not painful, it is not empty, It is full. It is rich. It is love. You long for the lake because you love the lake, and that is beautiful. It is night now. In your home, in your bed, in your life. The room is dark, quiet, still. You lie there, eyes closed, breathing slow, body relaxed. You think about the lake. You see it in your mind, clear, vivid, real. The water, black, deep, calm. The sky, dark, full of stars, infinite. The mountains, silhouettes, strong, eternal. You breathe, in and out, slow, steady, calm. You imagine you are there, by the shore, sitting, watching, being. You imagine the water, lapping, whispering, breathing. You imagine the monsters down below. In the deep, in the dark, hidden, safe, alive. You imagine the peace, the quiet, the stillness, the connection. You feel it, even here, even now, even far away, because it is not about the place. Not really. It is about the feeling, the awareness, the openness, the love. You can feel that anywhere, any time, always. You just have to remember. You just have to breathe. You just have to let it in. You breathe, deep, full, peaceful. You let go of thoughts, of worries, of everything. You sink into the bed, into the darkness, into the quiet. You drift, like a boat on water, like a leaf on wind, like a thought in mind. You drift, you float, you are, and somewhere, far away, in the north, in the cold, in the deep, the lake breathes, the water moves, the monsters swim, and they are you, and you are them, and all is one. You dream again. Not every night, but sometimes, often enough. You dream of water, of depths, of darkness, of peace. You dream of creatures, long, dark, graceful, ancient. You dream of connection, of understanding, of love. Sometimes the dreams are clear, vivid, detailed. You remember them when you wake. Sometimes they are vague, hazy, impressions. You feel them more than remember them, but they are always there, always present, always part of you. The dreams are not messages, not prophecies, not anything mystical. They are just dreams, reflections, echoes, memory and imagination mixing. But they are also real, in their own way. In the way dreams are real, they connect you to the lake, to the stories, to the mystery, to yourself. They remind you of what you saw, what you felt, what you learned, what you became. They keep it alive, in you, with you. For you, you welcome the dreams. You do not fear them. You do not question them. You just let them come. You let them be. You let them teach you. And when you wake, you feel peaceful, centered, whole. You carry the dreams with you, through the day, through the world, through your life, and they carry you, gently, softly, lovingly. You find others, people who understand, people who have been to the lakes, people who have heard the stories, people who believe. You talk with them, you share, you listen, you connect. They tell you their stories, their sightings, their feelings, their experiences. Each story is different, each story is unique, but they are all the same, in their heart. They all speak of wonder, of mystery, of connection, of peace. You feel less alone. You feel understood. You feel part of something, a community, a fellowship, a family of people who know, who believe, who care. You do not need to convince them. You do not need to explain. They already know. They were there, or they want to be there, or they dream of being there. It does not matter. What matters is the shared understanding, the shared love, the shared mystery. You share pictures, stories, memories, dreams. You talk for hours or minutes. Time does not matter. Connection matters. And when you part, when you go your separate ways, you carry each other with you. You're not alone. You never were. You never will be. There are others, all over the world, who know, who believe, who love. And that is beautiful. That is powerful. That is true. You think about the lake in winter, frozen, covered in ice. You remember the cold, the stillness, the silence, the stars. You think about how different it is. How the same place can be so many things, depending on the season, depending on the time, depending on the perspective. You think about how life is like that, how you are like that. Many things, all at once, changing, always changing. The lake in winter is not dead. It is not empty. It is just different, resting, waiting, preparing, under the ice. The water still flows, the life still exists, the monsters still swim, hidden, protected, safe, in the deep, in the cold, in the dark, and then spring comes, the ice melts, the water is free, the life returns, the cycle continues, always, forever, endlessly. You think about your own cycles, your own seasons, your own changes. Sometimes you are frozen, cold, hard, still, and that's okay. Sometimes you're flowing, warm, soft, moving, and that's okay too. You are always the lake. In every season, in every state, in every moment, deep, mysterious, alive, forever. You have a quiet moment in your day, between things, between tasks, between thoughts. You stop, you breathe, you close your eyes, and you're there, by the lake, instantly, completely, really. You feel the air, cool, clean, soft. You smell the water, fresh, pure, ancient. You hear the silence, full, rich, alive. You open your eyes, you're back, in your day, in your life, in your world. But something has shifted, something has changed, something has eased, the quiet moment, the brief return. It has centered you, it has calmed you, it has reminded you of who you are, of what matters, of what is real. You smile, you breathe, you continue. You do this often throughout your days, throughout your weeks, throughout your life, these quiet moments. These brief returns, these small journeys back, they sustain you, they nourish you, they keep you whole. You do not need to go back physically, not yet, not now, because you can go back any time, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. The lake is always there, waiting, welcoming, loving, and you're always there too, a part of it, forever. You write letters to yourself, to the lake, to the monsters, to the world. You do not send them, you do not share them. They are just for you. You write about what you saw, what you felt, what you learned, what you became. You write about gratitude, about love, about wonder, about peace. You write slowly, carefully, honestly. The words flow, like water, like breath, like life. You write about the mystery, about the not knowing, about the beauty of uncertainty. You write about connection, about belonging, about being part of something larger. You write about the monsters, about how they are not monsters, about how they are just creatures, living, being, existing. You write about how they taught you, not with words, not with actions, just by being, just by existing, just by surviving. They taught you about patience, about resilience, about living in the deep, about hiding when necessary, about being yourself even when no one understands. You write about the people, the fisherman, the old woman, the artist, the writer, the scientist, the children. You write about how they all saw the lake differently, but they all loved it. They all respected it. They all belonged to it. You write about yourself, about how you have changed, about who you were, about who you are becoming. The writing helps. It clarifies. It honors. It remembers. You keep the letters in a box, in a drawer, in a safe place. Sometimes you read them. Sometimes you add to them. Sometimes you just hold them. They are precious. They are yours. They are real. You teach, not formally, not officially, just in conversation, in moments, in life. People ask you about the trip, about the lakes, about the monsters, and you tell them, but you also teach them, without meaning to, without trying. You teach them to wonder, to question, to imagine, to believe. You teach them that not everything needs proof, that some things are true even without evidence, that mystery is valuable, that unknown is beautiful. You teach them to listen to the world, to the silence, to the whispers, to themselves. You teach them to be present, to notice, to feel, to experience, to live. You teach them to be open to possibility, to magic, to connection, to love. You do not preach, you do not lecture, you do not insist, you just share, you just be, you just live, and by living, by being, by sharing, you teach. The people who need to hear, they listen, they learn. The people who do not, that is okay. They are on their own path, their own journey, their own life. You do not judge, you do not force, you do not push, you just offer, you just give, you just love, and that is enough, that is everything. Years pass, time moves, life continues, you grow older, you change, you evolve, you become. The lake stays, always, eternal, unchanging in its essence, changing in its surface. You think about it less, daily, consciously, but it is always there, in the background, in the foundation, in the core. It has become part of you, so integrated, so deep, that you do not notice it anymore. It just is. You just are. Sometimes something reminds you, a picture, a smell, a sound, a feeling, and it all comes flooding back. The memories, the experiences, the peace, the love, and you smile, you breathe, you remember, and then you continue with your life, with your day, with your moment. The lake does not demand attention. It does not need recognition. It just is. And you are grateful for that, for the quiet presence, for the steady foundation, for the eternal connection. Years pass, you live, you love, you work, you rest, you experience, you grow, and always, always, the lake is there, in you, with you, forever. One day, you decide, it is time to go back, to return, to see it again. You plan, you prepare, you journey. The trip is the same. Different, familiar, strange. You arrive, you see the lake, and your heart, it swells, it breaks, it opens. It is the same, exactly the same. The water, the mountains, the sky, the peace. But you are different, older, wiser, changed, grown. You walk to the shore, you stand, you look, you breathe. Tears come, unexpected, welcome, needed. You let them fall. You do not wipe them. You let them be. You are home. You are back. You are here. You spend days there. Weeks maybe. Time does not matter. Only being matters. You sit, you walk, you watch, you listen, you feel. Everything is familiar. Everything is new. Everything is right. You see the old woman. She's still alive. Older, smaller, but her eyes. Still bright, still kind. She remembers you. She smiles. She welcomes you. She holds your hand. You see the fisherman, or maybe his son, or his grandson. It does not matter. The connection is the same. You see the lake, the water, the depths, the mystery, the monsters. Maybe, maybe not. It does not matter. You are here. You are present. You are whole. And that is everything. Your last night, before leaving, again, you sit by the shore. The sun is setting. One more time, the sky's beautiful. Orange, pink, purple, gold, perfect. You watch, you breathe, you feel, you think about everything, all the years, all the experiences, all the changes, all the growth. You think about what the lake has given you, peace, wonder, connection, love, yourself. You think about what you have given the lake, attention, respect, honor, love. It is a fair exchange, a perfect exchange, a sacred exchange. You sit, the sun sets, the stars appear, the night comes. You do not move. You do not want to. You want this moment to last forever. But you know it cannot. You know you must leave. Again, you know you must return to your life. But you also know you will be back. Again and again. As many times as you need, as many times as you want. The lake will always be here. Always waiting, always welcoming, always loving. And you will always return. Always remember, always carry it with you. You stand. You take one last look, one last breath, one last moment. You whisper, "Thank you. I love you. I will return." The water laps, soft, gentle, as if it hears, as if it knows, as if it says, I love you too. I will be here. You turn. You walk away. You begin the journey. Again. But you are not sad. You are not lost. You are not empty. You are full. You are whole. You are loved. And you carry the lake with you, always, forever. Eternally. The lakes remain, in Scandinavia, in the north, in the cold. The water flows, the seasons change, the years pass, the stories continue, people still see things, people still wonder, people still believe. The monsters, if they exist, they remain, hidden, quiet, patient, living their lives, in the deep, in the dark, in the mystery. They do not need to be found, they do not need to be proven, they do not need to be understood, they just need to be, and they are, they always have been, they always will be, and the people, they continue to come, to visit, to wonder, to search, to believe. Some find what they are looking for, some do not, but all are changed by the experience, by the place, by the mystery. The lakes teach, without words, without intention, just by being. They teach patience, they teach humility, they teach wonder. They teach love. They teach that some things are meant to remain unknown, that mystery is valuable, that not everything needs to be explained. They teach connection to nature, to history, to story, to self, and the stories continue, passed down, shared, evolved, but always the same, in their essence, in their heart, stories of things in the water, of shadows, of shapes, of eyes, of wonder, stories that make us think, that make us feel, that make us human, stories that connect us to the past, to each other, to the world, to something larger. The mystery continues, and that is beautiful, that is perfect, that is right. May it always continue, may it never be solved, may it always remain, a gift, a wonder, a mystery, forever. You close your eyes now, the story is told, the journey is complete, for now you breathe, deep, slow, peaceful. You think of the lake, the water, the depths, the mystery, the monsters, the peace. You feel it all, inside you, around you, through you. You are the lake is you are one, forever. You drift, you float, you let go, into sleep, into dreams, into peace, into love. The water holds you, the mystery surrounds you, the quiet fills you. You are safe, you are home, you are whole, and somewhere, far away, in the north, in the cold, in the deep. The lake breathes, the water moves, the monsters swim, and all is well, all is peaceful, all is as it should be, forever and ever and ever. Sleep now, rest, dream. The lake will still be there. When you wake, it always is, it always will be, forever. You have photographs from your visits, from your time by the lake. You look at them sometimes, on quiet evenings, when you need to remember. When you need to return, the images are beautiful, but they do not capture it. Not really, not completely. They capture the water, the mountains, the sky, the light, the colours, but they do not capture the feeling, the peace, the silence, the presence, the mystery. You cannot photograph silence, you cannot photograph peace, you cannot photograph connection. These things must be felt, experienced, lived, but still, the photographs help, they remind, they point, they open the door, you look at one, the lake at sunset, the water reflecting orange and pink, the mountains dark against the glowing sky. You remember that moment, standing there, breathing, watching, being. You remember how the air felt, cool, soft, gentle. You remember how your heart felt, full, open, grateful. You remember how you felt, whole, connected, alive. The photograph is a doorway. Through it you can return, in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. You close your eyes, you hold the photograph, you breathe, and you are there, again, always, forever. You discover music that reminds you of the lake, that carries you back, slow music, gentle music, ambient music, music that flows like water, that breathes like wind, that holds like earth. You listen, in the evening, in the darkness, in the quiet. The sounds wash over you, through you, around you. You close your eyes, you let the music take you, carry you, return you. You see the lake in your mind, clear, vivid, real. You see the water, dark, still, deep. You see the sky, vast, endless, full of stars. You feel the peace, the connection, the love. The music becomes the lake becomes the music. They are one, the same. Inseparable. You breathe, slow, deep, calm. Your body relaxes, your mind quiets, your heart opens, you drift, you float, you surrender. The music holds you, the lake holds you, the world holds you. You are safe, you are loved, you are home. The music ends, slowly, gently, fading into silence, but the feeling remains, the peace, the connection, the presence. You sit, in the quiet, in the aftermath, in the glow. You are changed, again, always, forever, by the music, by the lake, by the mystery, by the love. You read poems about water, about north, about mystery, about solitude, old poems, new poems, poems in different languages, Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish, English. The words speak to you. They resonate. They echo something deep inside. They speak of longing, of belonging, of searching, of finding. They speak of the beauty of cold places, of dark water, of long nights, of endless days. They speak of things unseen, unknown, unfound, but felt, believed, known. You read one poem, again and again, about a lake, about something living there, about respect, about coexistence. The poem does not describe the creature, does not prove it exists, does not explain it. It simply acknowledges, it honors, it loves. You feel tears, again. Welcome tears, grateful tears, understanding tears. The poem understands, the poet understands, you understand. Some things do not need explanation, some things do not need proof, some things just are, and that is enough. That is beautiful, that is perfect. You copy the poem, you keep it, you read it often, it becomes a prayer, a meditation, an anchor. It connects you to the lake, to the story, to yourself, to the world. You are grateful for the poem, for the poet, for the words, for the understanding. You are grateful for all the ways the lake reaches you, touches you, holds you, loves you, through photographs, through music, through poems, through memory, through dreams, through life. The lake is everywhere, always, forever. Years later, new scientists come, with new equipment, new methods, new hope. They use better sonar, better cameras, better technology. They are thorough, systematic, patient. They spend months on the lake, in the water, searching, recording, analyzing. You follow their work from a distance, with interest, with hope, with peace. You hope they find something, but you also hope they do not. You hold both, somehow, together. If they find proof, the mystery ends, but the creature is validated, recognized, protected. If they find nothing, the mystery continues. But the creature remains safe, hidden, unknown. Both outcomes have value. Both outcomes have loss. There is no perfect answer. The scientists work. They find interesting things, strange sonar readings, unusual patterns, unexplained movements, but nothing conclusive, nothing definitive, nothing final. They publish their findings, tentative, cautious, open. They say the lakes could harbour large unknown animals. They say more research is needed. They say the mystery continues. You read their reports. You appreciate their work, their honesty, their respect. They did not come to prove or disprove. They came to investigate, to understand, to learn. And they did. They learned that the lakes are deep, complex, full of surprises, full of possibilities. They learned that mystery is not weakness, not failure, not lack. Mystery is richness. Mystery is depth. Mystery is truth. You are grateful for the scientists, for their work, for their open minds, for their respectful approach. They honoured the lake, they honoured the stories, they honoured the mystery, and that is what matters. That is what endures. The children who grew up with the stories, they grow, they become adults, they have their own children, and they tell the stories to their children. The same stories, changed stories, new stories, about the lakes, about the monsters, about the mystery, about the wonder. The stories evolve, They adapt, they change, but the heart remains, the essence endures, the children listen, wide-eyed, curious, believing. They ask questions, they imagine, they dream, they draw pictures, they play games, they pretend, they grow up, they remember, they carry the stories forward. Into the future, some forget. They grow cynical, skeptical, dismissive. They leave the stories behind, some remember. They grow deeper, wiser, more open. They carry the stories with them, always. Some return, to the lakes, to see for themselves, to search, to wonder, to believe. The cycle continues, generation after generation. The stories live, they grow, they spread, they endure. You think about this, the power of story, the importance of mystery, the value of wonder. You think about how these things shape us, teach us, connect us, hold us. You think about how a child who grows up believing in lake monsters, believing in mystery, believing in the unknown, becomes an adult who can believe, who can wonder, who can remain open. And the world needs that. The world needs wonder. The world needs mystery. The world needs belief. Not blind belief, not foolish belief, but open belief, curious belief, humble belief, the kind that says, I do not know everything, I cannot explain everything, and that is okay, that is beautiful, that is right. You are grateful for the children, for the stories, for the continuation, for the hope. The villages around the lakes, they change over the years, over the decades. Some grow, new houses, new shops, new people. Tourism increases. The lakes become popular, known, some shrink. Young people leave, old people die, houses stand empty, the villages become quiet, forgotten, peaceful, but the lakes remain, always, constant, eternal. The water does not care about human changes, about human drama, about human time. The water simply is, flowing, breathing, existing. You visit one village, years after your first visit, it has changed. Grown, modernized. There is a visitor centre now, a museum, tours, souvenirs. Part of you is sad. The quiet is gone. The solitude is gone. The mystery feels commercialized. But part of you is glad. More people can experience it. More people can know. More people can love. You walk to the lake, away from the centre, away from the crowds, to a quiet spot. Your spot. And there. The lake is the same. The water, the mountains, the sky, the peace. The essence endures beneath the changes, beneath the surface, beneath the noise. You sit, you breathe, you feel, and you know. The lake is not diminished. The mystery is not destroyed. The magic is not lost. It is just different. It adapts. It continues. It endures. You are grateful for that, for the resilience, for the persistence, for the truth. The lake will outlast the changes. Will outlast the people, will outlast everything. It was here before us. It will be here after us. It simply is. And that is comforting. That is grounding. That is true. Someone makes a film, a documentary, about the lake monsters, about the legends, about the search. You watch it, with interest, with curiosity, with care. The film is beautiful. The cinematography is stunning. The lakes look magnificent, dark, deep, mysterious. The filmmaker interviews people, fishermen, scientists, locals, tourists, believers, skeptics. Each person tells their story, shares their perspective, offers their truth. The film does not take sides, does not prove or disprove, does not conclude or close. It simply explores, presents, honours. It shows the beauty, the mystery, the complexity, the depth. It shows how the legends have endured, how they have shaped the culture, how they have connected people, how they have inspired wonder. You watch, you feel, you remember, you see the places you know, the shores you walked, the waters you watched. You see people like you, who loved the lakes, who respected the mystery, who carried the wonder. You feel less alone. You feel part of something, a community, a tradition, a story. The film ends, gently, with images of the lake at different times, different seasons, different lights. The narration fades, the music fades. Only the images remain. Water, mountains, sky, peace. You sit in the quiet. After the film, in the glow of the screen, you feel grateful for the film, for the filmmaker, for the effort, for the respect. They did it right. They honored the mystery. They celebrated the wonder. They held the truth lightly. You hope many people see it. You hope it inspires. You hope it opens. You hope it connects. The world needs more of this, more mystery, more wonder, more beauty, more respect. You see another painting by a different artist, younger, contemporary. This one is abstract, not realistic, not representational, just feelings, colours, shapes, deep blues, dark greens, black, grey, white, flowing lines, curved shapes, depth, movement, mystery. You stand before it, in a gallery, in a city, far from the lakes, but you know, immediately, what it is, what it represents, what it means. It is the lake, it is the monster, it is the mystery, it is the feeling, not captured, not explained, not defined, just evoked, suggested, honoured. You feel it, in your chest, in your stomach, in your throat. The painting reaches you, touches you, opens you. You stand for a long time, looking, feeling, breathing. Other people pass, they glance, they move on. They do not understand, they do not feel it. But you do. You know. You recognise. The artist knows. The artist has been there, or dreams of being there, or carries the mystery somehow. You want to meet them, to thank them, to share, to connect. But you do not. You let it be. The painting is enough. The connection through art is enough. You leave the gallery. You carry the painting with you, in your mind, in your heart. You add it to your collection of memories, of images, of moments, of connections. All the ways the lake reaches you, all the ways it touches you, all the ways it holds you, through art, through film, through music, through poetry, through life. The lake is everywhere, in everything, always. You have a conversation with a stranger, by chance, in a cafe, in a bookstore, on a train. They mention the north, Scandinavia, the lakes, the legends. Your ears perk up, your heart quickens, you lean in, you talk, you share, you listen, you connect. They have been there, or they want to go, or they heard about it, or they read about it. It does not matter. What matters is the connection, the shared interest, the mutual wonder. You talk for hours, or minutes. Time disappears. Only the conversation matters. You share stories, experiences, feelings, dreams. They understand. You understand. You see each other. You know each other. In this one thing, this one shared love. You're connected. Deeply. Truly. The conversation ends. You part. You may never see them again, but it does not matter. You were connected. You were seen. You were known. You were not alone. You carry the conversation with you. A warm glow, a confirmation, a blessing. You are part of something, a community, a tradition, a love, a mystery. All over the world, there are people who know, who care, who believe, who wonder. You're one of them. They are one of you. You're all connected. Through the lakes, through the legends, through the mystery, through the love. And that is beautiful. That is powerful. That is true. You keep a journal, writing about the lakes, about your experiences, about your feelings, about your thoughts. You write regularly. Not every day, but often. When you feel called, when you need to process, when you want to remember. You write about visits, about dreams, about memories, about connections. You write about what you learn, about yourself, about the world, about mystery, about love. The journal becomes a record, a witness, a companion, a friend. You write honestly, openly, without censorship, without judgment. You write about doubts, about questions, about uncertainties, about confusion. You write about wonder, about joy, about peace, about gratitude. You write about the hard things, the longing, the separation, the forgetting, the return. You write about the beautiful things, the connection, the presence, the love, the wholeness. The journal grows, pages fill, volumes accumulate, years pass. You look back sometimes, read old entries, see how you have changed, how you have grown, how you have deepened. The lake has been constant, your companion, your teacher, your guide, your home. through all the changes, through all the years, through all the experiences, the lake remains in your writing, in your heart, in your life, forever. You're grateful for the journal, for the practice, for the record, for the witness. It helps you remember. It helps you process. It helps you honor. It helps you love. You develop a practice, a meditation, inspired by the lake, connected to the lake, rooted in the lake. You sit, quietly, comfortably, anywhere, anytime. You close your eyes. You breathe, slow, deep, calm. You imagine the lake. You see it. You feel it. You become it. You imagine the water, still, dark, deep. You imagine yourself sinking gently, slowly, peacefully, down through the water, through the layers, through the depths. The light fades, the sounds fade, the world fades. You sink into darkness, into silence, into depth. But you are not afraid. You are calm. You are peaceful. You are whole. You rest there, in the deep, in the dark. In the quiet, you are held by the water, by the earth, by the mystery. You're safe. You are loved. You are home. You breathe. In the meditation, slow, deep, full. You feel your body, relaxed, open, soft. You feel your mind, quiet, clear, still. You feel your heart, open, full, loving. You rest, as long as you need, as long as you want, as long as it takes. And when you are ready, when it is time, you rise, slowly, gently, naturally. You rise through the water, through the depths, through the layers. The light returns, the sounds return, the world returns. You open your eyes, you are back, in your body, in your place, in your life. But you are changed, refreshed, centered, whole. The meditation has held you, has healed you, has renewed you. You do this often, daily sometimes, when you need it, when you want it. The lake is always there. In the meditation, waiting, welcoming, holding, your inner lake, your deep water, your quiet center, your true home, you continue to teach, without realizing, without intending, just by being, just by living. People notice. Something about you, something different, something peaceful, something deep. They ask, what is your secret? How do you stay calm? Where do you find peace? You smile. You think. You answer honestly. The lake, you say, simply, truly. They look confused. What lake? They ask. Any lake. You say, all lakes. The deep water, the mystery, the quiet, the connection. You explain, not with words, not really. Words fail. Words fall short. You explain with presence, with being, with love. You show them by how you live, by how you breathe, by how you are. You show them that peace is possible, that connection is real, that mystery is valuable, that love is everywhere. Some understand, some do not, some are ready, some are not. That is okay. You do not judge, you do not push, you just offer, you just share, you just love. And those who are ready, they hear, they feel, they know, they begin their own journey to find their own lake, their own mystery, their own depth, their own peace. You are grateful for the opportunity, for the responsibility, for the gift, to share what you have learned, to pass on what you have received, to teach without teaching, to love without condition. You mark the solstices, summer and winter, light and dark, turning points, thresholds, summer solstice, the longest day, the midnight sun, the endless light. You think of the lake, glowing, golden, never sleeping, never resting. You imagine the creatures in the water. Do they notice? Do they feel? Do they respond? Do they come to the surface, in the endless light, to see, to feel, to be? You mark the moment, with intention, with gratitude, with love. You light a candle, you sit in silence, you remember, you honor, you connect. Winter solstice, the longest night, the polar darkness, the endless dark. You think of the lake, frozen, silent, sleeping, resting. You imagine the creatures in the deep. Do they slow? Do they rest? Do they dream? Do they wait in the darkness for the light, for the return, for the cycle to continue? You mark the moment with intention, with gratitude, with love. You light a candle. You sit in silence. You remember. You honor, you connect. The solstices connect you to the rhythm, to the cycle, to the earth, to the lake, to the mystery. They remind you that everything changes, that everything turns, that everything continues, light to dark, dark to light, summer to winter, winter to summer. The cycle is eternal, the rhythm is constant, the truth is unchanging, and you are part of it, always, forever, completely. You become an elder in your own way, not by age alone, by experience, by wisdom, by depth. People come to you, younger people, seeking, searching, questioning. They have heard about the lakes, about the legends, about your connection, about your peace. They want to know, they want to learn, they want to understand. You welcome them, you listen, you share, you guide, you tell them. The lake is not just a place, it is a state, a way of being, a depth within. You tell them. The monsters are not just creatures, they are mysteries, symbols, teachers, guides. You tell them. The journey is not just travel. It is transformation, opening, becoming, awakening. You tell them. Go, if you can, if you feel called. Visit the lakes, see them, feel them, know them, but also go within. Find your own depths, your own mysteries, your own quiet, your own peace. The outer journey and the inner journey, they are the same. They mirror, they teach, they complete. The young people listen. Some understand, some do not. Some go, some stay. Some find it, some keep searching. You do not judge, you do not measure. You just offer, you just love, you just hold space. Being an elder is not about having answers. It is about holding questions, about honoring mystery, about loving unconditionally. You are grateful for the role, for the opportunity, for the trust, to be a guide, a witness, a companion on the journey to the lakes, to the self, to the mystery, to the truth. A big storm comes to the lakes, to the north, fierce, powerful, dangerous. You hear about it from the news, from reports, from contacts, from your heart. You worry, not for yourself, for the lake, for the creatures, for the mystery, for the peace. The storm rages for days, wind, rain, waves, chaos. Trees fall, shores erode, boats capsize, damage happens, and then it passes. The storm moves on, the wind dies, the rain stops, the waves calm, the lake recovers, as it always does, as it always has, as it always will. You hear reports, the damage is minimal, the lake endures, the water continues, life persists. You feel relief, gratitude, awe. The lake is strong, resilient, eternal. It has survived worse, much worse. Ice ages, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, human activity. It has survived for thousands of years. It will survive for thousands more. The storm is nothing, a moment, a breath, a ripple. The lake endures, the mystery persists, the truth continues. You're comforted, reassured, grounded. Whatever storms come, in nature, in life, in the world, the lake endures, and if the lake endures, so can you. So can we all. We are part of the lake, part of the strength, part of the resilience, part of the eternity. You make what you know is your final visit. You're older now, the journey is harder, the body is weaker, but you must go. One more time, one last time, to say goodbye, to say thank you, to say I love you. You arrive. The lake is there, unchanged, eternal, beautiful. You walk slowly to the shore, to your spot, to the place you have always gone. You sit, with effort, with gratitude, with love. You look at the water, the mountains, the sky. You breathe the air, you feel the breeze, you hear the silence. Tears come, freely, fully, without shame. These are goodbye tears. Thank you tears. Love tears. Completion tears. You've had a lifetime with this lake, a relationship, a love story, a journey. It has taught you, held you, healed you, changed you, made you who you are. You are grateful, so deeply grateful, beyond words, beyond measure, beyond expression. You sit for hours, not moving, not speaking, just being, just loving, just saying goodbye. The sun moves, the light changes, the day passes, the evening comes, you watch the sunset. One last time, orange, pink, purple, gold, perfect. The stars appear, one by one. The night comes, gentle, dark, quiet. You stand, slowly, painfully. Finally, you look at the lake, one last time, one last long look. One last deep breath. You whisper, "Thank you, I love you, goodbye." The water laps, soft, gentle, as if it hears, as if it knows, as if it says, "Thank you, I love you too. You will always be with me." You turn, you walk away, you do not look back, you carry it all forward, in your heart, in your soul, in your being, forever. You think about legacy, about what you will leave behind, about what matters, about what endures. You realize the lake is your legacy, not possessions, not achievements, not accomplishments. The lake, the connection, the love, the mystery, the peace, that is what you will leave to your children, to your friends, to the world, to anyone who will receive it. You have told the stories, you have shared the experiences, you have taught the lessons, you have loved openly, you have shown that mystery matters. That wonder is valuable, that connection is real, that peace is possible. You have lived from the lake, with the lake, as the lake, deep, quiet, strong, resilient, enduring, loving, and that is your legacy, not what you did, but how you were, not what you achieved, but what you loved. You are at peace with this, with everything, with your life, with your death, with your journey. You have lived fully, loved deeply, connected truly. That is enough. That is everything. The lake will continue, long after you are gone. The water will flow, the mystery will endure, the stories will continue, and in some small way, you will be part of that, part of the continuing story, part of the eternal mystery, part of the endless love. That is immortality, not living forever, but loving so deeply that the love continues, that the connection endures, that the truth persists. You are grateful for the life, for the lake, for the journey, for the love. You are ready for whatever comes next, for the next adventure, for the next mystery, for the next depth. Time passes. Your time comes, as it comes for everyone, as it must, as it should. You are ready. You're peaceful. You're unafraid. You lie down. You close your eyes. You breathe. Slow, slower, slowest. And you think of the lake. Of course you do. You see it. Clear, vivid, real. The water, dark, deep, still. The mountains, strong, eternal, beautiful. The sky, vast, endless, full of stars. You feel yourself sinking, like in the meditation, like in the dream, gently, slowly, peacefully, down through the water, through the layers, through the depths. The light fades, the sounds fade, the world fades. You sink into darkness, into silence, into depth. But you're not afraid. You're calm. You're peaceful. You're whole. You're held by the water, by the earth, by the universe, by love. You rest there, in the deep, in the dark, in the quiet. You're safe. You're home. You're complete. And somewhere, in the depth, in the darkness, in the mystery, you sense something, a presence, a shape, a being, the creature, the monster, the mystery. It comes close. You're not afraid. You're curious. You're open. You're loving. It looks at you. With those large, dark, deep eyes, you look at it. You see it. Truly. Finally. Completely. And you understand. Everything. It is not separate. It is part of you. It has always been part of you. The mystery, the depth, the unknown, the hidden, the feared, the loved. All of it. You. You smile. You reach out. You touch. And you become one with the creature, with the lake, with the mystery, with everything. You dissolve. You expand. You transform. You are the water. You are the depth. You are the mystery. You are the love. You're everything, and nothing, and everything again. Your home finally, truly, eternally. But the story does not end. It never ends. It continues. Always. The lake remains. The water flows. The mystery endures. The people continue, living, visiting, wondering, believing, loving. The stories continue, being told, being shared, being changed, being honoured. The children continue, growing, learning, dreaming, carrying forward. The cycle continues, summer, winter, light, dark, life, death, life again. Everything continues, because nothing truly ends. Everything transforms. Everything evolves. Everything endures. Your body returns to the earth, to the elements, to the cycle. But your love, your connection, your essence, that continues. In the people you touched, in the stories you told, in the love you shared, in the lake, always in the lake. You're part of the water now, part of the depth, part of the mystery, part of the eternity. Someone sits by the shore, years later, decades later, centuries later. They look at the water, they feel something, a presence, a peace, a connection. They do not know it is you, they do not need to know, but it is. Your love, your peace, your essence. Still there, still present, still real. The lake holds you, as it holds all who have loved it, all who have connected with it, all who have become one with it. The lake is a holder of souls, a keeper of mysteries, a vessel of love, and you are there forever, eternally, completely. At peace, in love, home, and here, now, in this moment. The lake exists, right now, as you hear these words, as you breathe, as you are. The water is there, dark, deep, still, moving, breathing, living. The mountains are there, strong, eternal, holding the valley, holding the water, holding the mystery. The sky is there, above, vast, endless, day or night, light or dark, always there. The creatures are there, maybe, probably, certainly, in the deep, in the dark, in the mystery, hidden, safe, alive. The stories are there, being told, being shared, being lived, being loved. The people are there, some, a few, many, sitting, walking, watching, wondering, believing, and you. You're there too, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. You have travelled there, in these words, in this story, in this journey. You have seen the lake, felt the peace, touched the mystery, known the love. It is yours now, forever. It has always been yours. It will always be yours. The lake is not just a place. It is a state of being, a depth of soul, a quality of heart. You carry it with you, always, wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you become. You are the lake, deep, mysterious, peaceful, strong, enduring, loving, and the lake is you, holding your depths, honouring your mysteries, loving your wholeness. You are one. You have always been one. You will always be one. The night is deep now. The darkness is complete. The silence is full. You're lying down, comfortable, warm, safe, held. Your breathing is slow, deep, rhythmic, peaceful. Your body is relaxed, heavy, soft, at rest. Your mind is quiet, still, open, at peace. Your heart is full, grateful, loving, complete. You think of the lake, one more time, gentle, soft, loving. The dark water, the deep mystery, the eternal peace. You breathe, in, out, slow, slower, slowest. You drift, like a boat on water, like a leaf on wind, like a thought in mind. You float, you sink, you dissolve, you become. The lake holds you, the darkness holds you, the peace holds you, the love holds you. You are safe, you are home, you are whole. Sleep now, rest, dream, drift. The mystery continues, the water flows, the love endures forever and ever and ever. The lake breathes, you breathe. One breath, one rhythm, one being. Peace, stillness, quiet, deep, dark, water, mystery, love, home, forever. You wake sometimes, in the middle of the night, in the quiet hours, in the darkest time, and you think of the lake, immediately, naturally, without effort. You see it in your mind. The water, the mountains, the sky, all of it clear, all of it present. You do not feel lonely. You do not feel afraid. You feel connected. You feel held. The lake is with you, even here, even now, even always. You close your eyes again. You breathe. You let the image fill you, comfort you, soothe you, and you drift back to sleep, gently, easily, peacefully. The lake carries you into dreams, into rest, into peace. You wake in the morning, and the feeling remains, the connection, the peace, the love. It is part of you now, woven into your being, inseparable, eternal. You go through your day, and the lake goes with you, in every moment, in every breath, in every heartbeat. It is your anchor, your center, your home, and you are grateful, always grateful, forever grateful. There are days when the world feels heavy, when life feels hard, when nothing makes sense. On those days, you turn to the lake, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. You sit by the water, imagined water, real water, both, neither. It does not matter. You watch the surface, still, dark, deep. You breathe, slow, steady, calm, and slowly, so slowly. The heaviness lifts, the hardness softens, the confusion clears. The lake does not fix anything, does not solve anything, does not change anything. But it holds you. While you feel, while you process, while you heal, it gives you space to be human, to be broken, to be whole. It reminds you that depth is okay, that darkness is okay, that mystery is okay. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to fix everything. You do not need to be anything other than what you are. The lake accepts you, completely, unconditionally, always. And in that acceptance, you find strength, you find peace, you find yourself, you stand, you continue, you live, and the lake remains, your companion, your witness, your home. There are moments of pure joy, unexpected, unbidden, beautiful, a sunrise, a laugh, a touch, a word, a silence. In those moments, you think of the lake, and the joy deepens, expands, multiplies, because the lake taught you to notice, to appreciate, to receive, to love. The lake taught you that beauty exists, that wonder is real, that life is precious, that love is everywhere. You carry that teaching in your heart, in your life, in your being, and when joy comes, you meet it fully, you welcome it completely, you let it fill you utterly. You do not hold back, you do not question, you do not diminish, you simply receive, you simply feel, you simply are. And the joy becomes sacred, holy, divine, because you have learned from the lake, from the mystery, from the depth, that everything is sacred, everything is holy, everything is divine, the ordinary, the simple, the everyday, all of it, all of us, all of everything, sacred, holy, divine, and you live from that knowing, that truth, that love. The lake continues to change you, even now, even years later, even always. You notice it in small ways, the way you listen, the way you see, the way you are. You're more patient, more present, more peaceful. You're less afraid, less anxious, less hurried. You move through the world differently, softer, gentler, slower. You notice things, small things, beautiful things, mystery things, the way light falls on water, any water, a puddle, a glass, a river, a tear, the way silence sounds, full, rich. Alive, the way darkness feels, not empty, not scary, but deep, restful, holding. You have learned from the lake to love the darkness, to trust the depth, to honor the mystery, and this changes everything. How you live, how you love, how you are. You're more yourself, more true, more whole, because the lake showed you who you really are. Deep, mysterious, beautiful, loved, and you believed it. You received it. You became it, and now you live it. Every day, every moment, every breath, you are the lake, walking, breathing, living, loving, and it is beautiful, it is true, it is right. You meet someone new, a friend, a stranger, a fellow traveller. They are struggling, lost, searching, hurting. You do not offer advice. You do not try to fix. You do not explain or convince. You simply sit with them. You simply listen. You simply be. You offer your presence, your attention, your love, and somehow, without words, without trying, they feel it, the peace, the depth, the mystery, the lake. It flows through you, from you, around you, not from anything you do, but from what you are, from what you have become. You are a vessel, a carrier, a channel of the peace you found, of the love you received, of the mystery you honoured, and others feel it, know it, receive it. Not everyone, not always, but sometimes, when they are ready, when they are open, and that is enough. That is everything. You do not need to save anyone. You do not need to teach anyone. You do not need to change anyone. You simply need to be yourself, true, whole, loving, and the lake, the mystery, the love, it does the rest, through you, with you, as you, and you are grateful for this gift, for this calling, for this life. You walk by water, any water, everywhere, always, a stream, a river, a pond, an ocean, a fountain, a puddle, and you feel it, the connection, the recognition, the love. All water is one water, all depth is one depth, all mystery is one mystery. The lake taught you this, showed you this, made you know this. Water is life, water is love, water is mystery, water is home, and you honour it, wherever you find it, however it appears. You stop, you watch, you breathe, you connect, for a moment, for a minute, for as long as you can. You let the water speak to you, teach you, hold you, love you, and it does, always, every time, without fail, because water recognizes you, knows you, loves you. You are water, you are depth, you are mystery, you are love, and water knows its own. You walk on, refreshed, renewed, remembered. Carried by the water, held by the depth, loved by the mystery, always, everywhere, forever. There are stories you tell yourself about who you are, about what you can do, about what is possible, old stories, limiting stories, fearful stories. But the lake changed those stories, rewrote them, transformed them. The lake showed you. You are deeper than you know, stronger than you think, more mysterious than you imagine. You're not small, you are vast. You're not weak, you're resilient. You're not simple, you're profound. You contain depths, mysteries, wonders, beauties. You're like the lake, dark, deep, unknown, powerful, peaceful, eternal. And this knowing, this truth, it changes everything. You no longer believe the old stories, the small stories, the limiting stories. You believe the new stories, the true stories, the lake stories. You are vast, you are deep, you are mysterious, you are loved. And from this knowing, you live differently, you love differently, you are differently, you take risks, you trust yourself, you follow your depth, you honour your mystery. You do not need to prove anything to anyone, not even to yourself. You simply need to be what you are, who you are, how you are, deep, mysterious, beautiful, loved. And that is enough. That is everything. That is truth. You sit in meditation, in prayer, in silence, in presence, and the lake is there, always there. Your inner landscape, your true home. You sink into the water, into the depth, into the darkness, into the peace, and you rest there, held, loved, known, home. This is your practice now, your way, your path, your truth, to return to the lake again and again, always again, in meditation, in prayer, in breath, in life, to remember who you are, what you are, why you are, deep, mysterious, peaceful, loved. The lake does not demand, does not require, does not insist. It simply is, always there, always waiting, always welcoming, and you return. as often as you need, as often as you want, as often as you remember, daily, hourly, constantly, always. Because the lake is not outside you, it is inside you. It is you. You are the lake. The lake is you, one, same, eternal. And when you remember this, when you know this, when you are this, everything changes, everything opens, everything becomes peace, love, mystery, depth, truth, home, all of it, all of you, all of everything, one, whole, complete, eternal. The seasons continue their dance, their cycle, their rhythm, their truth, spring, summer, autumn, winter, spring again. And you flow with them like water, like the lake, like life itself. You do not resist, you do not fight, you do not hold on, you let go, you surrender, you flow, you become. In spring, you are new, fresh, growing, opening. In summer, you're full, warm, abundant, alive. In autumn, you're releasing, letting go, preparing, trusting. In winter, you're resting, quiet, deep, dreaming, and then spring again. The cycle continues, always, forever, eternal. You have learned this from the lake, from the mystery, from the depth, that life is cycles, that everything changes, that nothing stays, that all returns, and you trust this, you honor this, you live this. You do not cling to summer, you do not fear winter, you do not rush spring, you do not resist autumn, you simply are. What the season requires, what the moment offers, what life brings. Present, open, flowing, trusting, loving, and this is freedom, this is peace, this is truth, this is home. The lake taught you, and you learned, and you became, and now you teach. Without words, without trying, without knowing, simply by being. What you are, who you are, how you are. A lake, a depth, a mystery, a love. Walking, breathing, living, being. In this world, in this time, in this life, in this moment. Now, here, always, forever.